It was probably one of the most exhilarating things I've ever gone through, to be cast in this show.
So we all thought the only way we're going to do this is by linking arms, looking each other square in the eyes and going, let's give it everything we've got. It's a family drama set in hell.
We are all one big family.
Family.
The Walking Dead family. I received a severed finger. Not a real severed finger, a fake severed finger.
100 episodes. That's rarefied air.
We're so unbelievably fortunate that the show caught on with audiences. If anybody told you they thought we would be here 100 episodes later, they're absolutely lying to you, because we really didn't know if we'd even get a second season.
Cover your ears.
The process of getting The Walking Dead to television was a very long process with a lot of starts and stops and a lot of getting close and then falling apart.
When this was first brought around to the different networks, it was rejected, it was accepted and developed, and then it was rejected again. And I think it took a young, hungry cable company like AMC to see the value and take the risk of doing a zombie television show.
Given that horror on television back then was kind of the ugly stepchild of drama, we were just hoping we'd get renewed.
Is that a real vein, or is that...
No, that's put in.
To be completely honest, I didn't really know anything about the television business. You know, we would be reviewing scripts, and I'd be like, this thing's never going to get made. And then I'd be, you know, watching auditions, and I'd be like, yeah, this is never going to get made. And then I was on set, and I was there filming it, and I was like, this thing is never going to make it to air. And then, you know, suddenly it's on TV, and I'm like, this thing's going to get canceled. This thing is never going to last. I guess I'm a really negative person.
No! Bang, 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 bang.
The amazing thing for The Walking Dead is that we have this great blueprint given to us by Robert Kirkman. It's a gift, because to make that transition from page to screen, we can always go back to our source material.
One of the things that makes The Walking Dead cool, one of the things that I think has built the fan base, is the fact that when you sit down to read an issue of the comic, you never know what's going to happen. And so being able to pay tribute to what comes in the comic, but also maintain that aspect of you never know what's going to happen, I think is really important, even though they've been reading the comic for, you know, over a decade.
So what happens now?
Barrier.
Okay.
You could have a great script. If you don't have the right actors, you don't have a show.
4 men, 4 rounds. What are the odds, huh? But let's just hope that 4's your lucky number, okay?
The most interesting thing is that we did not cast the role of Rick Grimes first. We actually cast the role of Shane. At that point, we didn't even know that he was out there.
This script sort of came through from my agent called The Walking Dead. And it said zombie, no, wait a minute, it said Walking Dead, and I thought, that's a really cool name. Is it a war story? Underneath it just said zombie survival horror, and I started to salivate.
Little girl? I'm a policeman. Little girl.
So we all thought the only way we're going to do this is by linking arms, looking each other square in the eyes and going, let's give it everything we've got and let's have fun.
Well, it's based on a comic book. And I remember driving home, and I went by the bookstore, and I went in and asked where the Walking Dead comic book was. I opened it up, and there was a woman getting her neck torn out, bit out. Very, very different from what I was used to. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, wait, yeah, this is great.
Hey, mister,
What's the bandage for?
What?
You tell me, or I will kill you. You have to remember when we first started, everything was vampires. It was Vampire Diaries and Twilight and True Blood and stuff. So the notion of doing a zombie show, everybody said that we were crazy.
There's a fun story about Rick's audition. We Skyped with him, and I remember he said, "Oh, I just had a baby, I just can't do it."
He was incredibly sleepless. He was exhausted.
And I said, "You didn't have a baby, your wife had a baby. Could you just get somebody to read with you off camera instead of your wife?" And he called a friend of his who said, "Well, you're never gonna get this job. I got 10 minutes, let's just do it."
And so I got a buddy of mine, Sam Hazeldine, who's a very accomplished actor, but a terrible cameraman. And I think he filmed me sort of, it's either my nose up, I think it was like that, or my nose down. And I sort of sent that to the casting director, and they just went, "What are you doing, you idiot?"
That's the tape that he sent that was so strong that the producers flew him out for a screen test.
The idea now of anyone other than Andy Lincoln bringing that role to life, playing Rick Grimes, is just inconceivable.
Oh, God.
Come on, people, what the hell?
Norman has a fun story. I just remember when he first came into audition and he walked in the room and said, "I suck at auditions. I've never gotten a job off an audition. I'm terrible."
So I read it, I left, and then I went back to New York.
And I remember when he left, my note was, "He's not right for this role, but he is fascinating, and we have to find something for him." And then when
The producers agreed.
And they agreed.
Yeah. He made such an impression on us that we brought him back in a role that isn't from the comic books, of Daryl Dixon.
And then I got a call as I was walking through Chinatown saying, "Hey, they wrote a part for you." And I was like, "Yay."
Morning. Someone who actually never had to audition is Melissa McBride.
You washed my clothes.
Well, best we could. Scrubbing on a washboard ain't half as good as my old maid tech back home.
That's very kind. Thank you.
I produced a film called Stephen King's The Mist, and she had one very important critical scene in that movie, and she was breathtaking.
It was about 3 years after The Mist had shot, and I was called by the local casting director.
Little did she know, all these conversations had gone on, that she got a call that we're doing a television series in the zombie apocalypse in Atlanta, and you've been cast in the role of Carol.
Please, Lord, punish me however you but show mercy on her.
When in doubt, put the camera on Melissa, because she is absolutely phenomenal.
Casting of Michelle was very exciting for us. It was a fan favorite.
This place is not what they say it is.
It was probably one of the most exhilarating things I've ever gone through, to be cast in this show. To actually be handed something this extraordinary, a character this original, was something I'd never come across, really.
You know, you're casting a brilliant woman, not just a brilliant actress, which I think has served her
And
well.
badass.
And a badass.
Just badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really badass.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. See.
A lot of times in television, you shoot a pilot and then you go away for months and, you know, wait to hear whether you're going to get picked up. For us, our kind of whole pilot was the first season.
All right, everybody step back if you're not in the rehearsal. All right, here we go. Pictures up. Hey, Mark.
We knew that we were in a place, a highly creative place, and we had all the right people.
The performances just so compelling to watch, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on television.
Something happened. It was the right time, the right creative individuals, the right cast. When the cast
casting director told me about the character, that was one of the things that really turned me on about the role. This role is written for you, Rooker. I mean, the guy is such an ass-kicking Southern redneck. He, like, cuts his own hands off to... I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. He does what? No! No! I've never experienced anything like that. Anything like The Walking Dead. And I said, okay, I'll do it.
You know, at the airport when you land, they said, welcome to Hotlanta. But until you experience it, you don't really know it. I mean, you know, temperatures over 100 degrees with 100% humidity.
Georgia is absolutely critical to the show. I kind of feel like it's a character on the show. The heat and the bugs, you know, it makes the show harder, and it absolutely makes the show better.
August in Georgia is a special time. It is hot.
Wreck! Walkers!
We film a lot in the woods, where there's all manner of bugs and creepy crawlies that want to bite you and give you various diseases.
The weather really doesn't bother me, and especially when you see people in walker costumes who are much hotter than I ever would be.
Have a bad day.
They'll turn me into a walker next week, and then we'll see.
I had lived in New York a long time, so I was used to heat and humidity. But, you know, Georgia takes it up a notch.
There is no place on earth that is hotter than Atlanta in August. That being said, is a zombie ever going to get my leather jacket off me? Hell no.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
What's your name? My friends used to call me Jesus. I have as many clothes on as possible and as much facial hair and hair on my head as possible to make me a big sweaty mess at the end of every day.
We like to be miserable.
If we're not miserable, we're not making The Walking Dead. It's just part of it.
If we happen to shoot indoors and there's air conditioning, it doesn't feel right to me.
It's an equalizer, and everybody has to work in it, not least our crew. A lot of it is about making sure they can make it through, and if they can make it through, we sure as hell can.
The fact that for 6 months a year, we're all together outside of Atlanta bonds us more closely than anything I've ever worked on before.
The crew are the heart of this show now, because there's so many other people have come and gone, and there's a sort of unity and a real strength. And I realize that I make the show for them just as much as myself.
We get a script and we're like, okay, this one's impossible, we're not gonna make it, and somehow we do.
This is a little bit different. Camera's going to pan.
And that's really a credit to the crew, because they don't just show up to work. They're very, very proud to be the crew of The Walking Dead, and it shows.
The first day I came on the set, this guy came up to me and said, hi, I'm Red Brown.
I believe I said hi, and I love you, and I'm glad you're here.
That's exactly what he said.
Toughest thing about the job, we're in the woods a lot, so maneuvering into the deep forest and not having a paved road to get to it is probably our toughest thing.
Go home. Let go. Just leave.
We definitely have the best crew. This is probably the best job ever.
There, got it.
Do I love working on it? I'm still here.
The Walking Dead crew.
My job involves all the effects of nature. Wind, rain, snow, anything to do with steam or smoke or explosions.
They genuinely have the best attitude. Some of them have to drive 40 minutes to get home to go to sleep. They really are like superheroes.
Your motivation here is run out of gas. You're going after him. Never give up. Keep going.
It's a very fast-moving set. There's always excitement around the corner. Just walking over here for this interview, I almost walked into a herd coming at me of walkers.
Any zombies without something to eat?
Wouldn't you like to eat with the zombies?
We got 30 zombies in makeup. We got a dog. We're gonna have them take a dog leg, rip it off. We got brisket and stuff stuffed in there. And anyway, she's gonna get this girl biting and eating it, and hopefully digesting some dog.
Sometimes we have night shoots and we start, you know, at 6 o'clock in the evening and work until the sun comes up. But it's all fun.
This is the family that we really like to work with.
People really love making this show. It is the greatest summer camp on earth.
Hit it. Hit it.
The flow is real easy.
Oh, Lord, there's 2 walkers after my baby.
Everybody does their job and everything comes together when we call action.
Action!
I get